Hi.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, thanks so much for doing this.
I'm very excited to do this. I'm excited.
um, yeah, so I guess the first question I would like to ask you is okay, so what would be on your cosmic business card? Like the business card you would hand to like a witch or an angel or a kid or anybody in the world, like and off world. Like what does your business card say?
Uh, I would say manifesting spirit.
Wow. Yay. That's so cool.
That's what I think it would say because I think drag, a lot of it is you're manifesting, you're like playing with glamour magic and you're like manifesting this like new identity out of just like makeup and
Yeah.
much like plastic hair and cloth. You're like creating a whole new person. So yeah, like manifesting spirit.
That's amazing. Do you practice like manifestation at
Yeah,
home and stuff?
I'm definitely a witch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like full blown, like yeah, my main thing that I do is I like to like meditate and do like a lot of like candle magic
Cool.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
What's your meditation practice like? Or
Whenever I feel like I really like I need to meditate because I try to do it every day, but like every other human being, like life happens. But
yeah.
when I do sit down, for me, it's just like really just to like clear everything. There's no goal for me because I feel like if I try to meditate with a goal in mind, sometimes it's like everything else comes in. So my goal is just to clear everything.
That's awesome. Is it just breathing or do guided meditation or
Yeah, I mostly just do like controlled breathing. Like it starts like I do like counted breaths and then just kind of like let myself slip into that. And what meditation is for me is like once I feel I'm at that very like relaxed state, I kind of just like try to stay there as long as possible.
That's so cool. Do you have lots of dreams at night?
I do. I'm a very, very vivid dreamer. And
Whoa,
I smoke a lot of weed and they
cool.
say that, that sometimes like dampens your dreams, but
Yeah,
not for me.
that's so cool. Do you love dreaming?
I do love dreaming. I do. I as a kid I was a big daydreamer. I daydreamed a lot.
Yeah,
Um I still do. I still
yeah,
daydream a lot. I think anyone that finds enjoyment in doing anything kind of creative, I feel those people enjoy daydreaming because I know
yeah,
for me, I get inspired by my daydreams.
yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, I couldn't live without dreams. It's like my favorite, almost too much, like to a fault. Like I prefer being asleep to being awake, but that's only if I'm like not inspired. I'm just like I'm just gonna go to bed. Like I don't really work that hard to get inspired. I'll just be like I quit. Like I'm gonna go find something cool in my dreams. Um,
Right? No,
but
I
yeah.
love that. I love that so much.
Well, I just want to say um, that we're doing this podcast and we were thinking of like we just wanted to talk to different heroes about just everything but music and paranormal stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But one of the things I think you're my favorite dancer. You're such a cool dancer. It's unbelievable. Like, yeah, when I saw that video, I was just like, this is it felt so familiar and like you know what I mean when you see
Uh-huh.
some my favorite kind of music and art is stuff where you feel like it's a part of you, like you feel like it's you've already seen it before but it's unexpected, you're like shocked but like
Yeah.
but you I don't know, and I when I saw that we were like completely stunned at just how great a dancer you are and like how perfectly you dance, and then just getting to like know you more and more through dancing. It's like have you are you like did you take dance lessons or how did
No,
that come about?
no, honestly, I never took any sort of dance. The only kind of like creative outlet as a kid that I had was in the public school I went to, there was a gifted and talented program, and I was in it in elementary school for art, for visual art.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and so I never took dance. I had lots of cousins that took dance, and I was always a little bit jealous, but my mom loves music. And so growing up, like her favorite thing to do was my dad worked during the day a lot. And so she would take out like her 45 collection, and she was a big girl group fan.
Wow,
So
that's so cool.
yeah, so she would like she would give us like she and I each a hairbrush, and she would like dance and like teach me like, okay, like we're gonna do this, you know. So my
That's
mom and I
so
would just
cool.
play, yeah, we would play records and dance. And for me, dance was always something that was just like always associated with like something fun, like things were good and things were happy and like a kind of like release and freedom. So dance for me is like I'm kind of, I don't know. I think I have to just be inspired by something. Like if I love a song, for me, it just comes naturally. I just move to it. Like I kind
Yeah.
of envision myself in the song. And so I just kind of go there.
Yeah. Well, you just have such a unique and wonderful style of dancing that's like so it's like hypnotic, and it's also it's old fashioned, but it's also like futuristic. It's so
Thank
cool.
you. Well, like my, like when I think of Louisiana Purchase as kind of like a character, like I think she likes to seduce, like in many ways. Like she likes to, you know, like be sexy seducing, but she also like likes to seduce with like the macabre. She likes to seduce with love. She likes to seduce with like a lot of different things. Um, and I think that that's just like one area of like her seduction is like movement. And
Yeah. Do you think of her as separate from you? Sorry, I don't
um,
know how about that much about
yeah, yeah.
her identity.
I view Louisiana definitely, you know, like in like a logical plane where it's like this person like doesn't exist, but like I'm able to bring her to life. It's just, you know, I very much view it as like I'm a like a working performer, a working like actor. Um, but Louisiana, like when I am Louisiana, it's not that far removed from me. I'm not smart enough to like really develop like a fully formed character that is totally opposite of me and I'm able to live in it. It's always gonna reflect me to some extent.
Right. I've just been thinking about this a lot because for music, just straight up, like I'm not an actor. I cannot act. I'm so bad at it. But I am taking a voiceover class because my dream is to be like a cartoon character. And yeah, it's
I
really
love that so much.
yeah, it's so fun and it's so interesting. But all of these people that are actors are in the class, and they're so used to like putting on this thing and like being true to the character and stepping outside of themselves. And I think you have to like really let go of your ego and just to commit. And like I'm ashamed to admit, like I can't just like break out of like the shy guy that I am. And like
Yeah.
and it sucks to it's just such a weird thing, like how just actors are so different than musicians in the way where it's like some people would say to me like you're so different on stage than you are in person, like because I am so shy and I'm not on stage, but it still is like yeah, I guess it's the same. It's a part of me, but yeah, I guess I just don't like I don't get fully into a different character. So I think that's so cool. And I'm always so jealous of people that like do have another side to them that they can fully be, you know?
Yeah. I think of it as like Louisiana is like me and my dreams.
That's
And,
cool.
and Louisiana is kind of like, I think subconsciously all throughout my childhood and like young adulthood, because I'm 44 now. But like all throughout my life, I think I've just subconsciously been kind of like creating like my dream character. Like if I
That's
could write
cool.
like a graphic novel, if I could write my own comic book, this is who I would want to star in it. And I just, yeah, I think Louisiana is me like completely free.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people want to be Louisiana. I think you created like the coolest character. I mean, yeah, it's so I mean, I'm everything that you produce, I'm just like that is perfect. It's so cool and just yeah, I guess I have like a place where I want to be characters and I want to do things and like all of that stuff, but it's just I'm too shy, so I'm like just want to learn from you. But
Yeah.
did you like how did someone teach you how to like put on makeup and all of that stuff, or how did
I
that
kind
happen?
of, so how I got into drag was, so my husband now, but then we were dating, did drag. I did not when we met. And so I would go to like his drag shows, and eventually like my friends just became drag queens. So I literally fell into drag just because I'm like, I want to do something fun with my friends. Can I? And
Yeah.
my husband was like, but you've never been on stage. And I'm like, I know, but I think you'll be fun. And so I kind of went into it just like I just like held my breath and dived.
Yeah.
And that my very first performance and probably months of performances after that, I realized I wasn't naturally comfortable on stage
Yeah.
because I think I was really trying to make things perfect.
Yeah.
And I was so worried about not messing up that when
Yeah.
I learned to kind of let the energy of the stage just kind of really just like freedom, when I let
Yeah.
down all of my walls, what I
Yeah.
thought I should be doing instead of doing what I feel, when I
Totally.
let down those walls, like I enjoyed being on stage. But I'm a Capricorn, firstborn child, so I'm very like I like to have things like choo, choo, choo. And my whole journey in life has been about taking away those boxes.
Yeah, so I'm the same thing. I'm a Virgo, and so I like very strict like rules that don't exist in society. That yeah, I just like I'm slowly just like get rid of that box, get rid of that wall. Like it's not serving you. You're acting crazy. Like
Right?
yeah,
No. And I think that's the greatest gift we can give ourselves.
yeah,
Anyone, especially creative people, is just like, don't be afraid to like just have fun. Just like
yeah,
let go of what you think you should be doing and do what you feel.
yeah. It's so hard to learn that. I mean, the journey of learning is forever, but it's so hard because you're like you went to school for it, so for art, and so you're taught to do this thing that's a natural thing, and then you just kind of like become robotic. And I had the same thing like when I started playing, I hated it because I was just thinking, I was just not experiencing. And the best part of it is the energy from everyone giving each other energy. And like now, if I think a good show is a show where like I'm not there, where it's just like it just happened and it's like I'm totally out of body experience. And then like the worst shows are the ones where I was just in my head the whole time, like but yeah.
I totally agree. The best performances are the ones that feel like it lasted like a minute
Yeah.
when it's gone. And I can tell when it's going to be an off night is when like that kind of transfer of like mind to heart kind of doesn't
Yeah,
happen, and
totally.
I'm more stuck in my head, and that always ends up like for me, I walk away and I'm like, that was okay.
Yeah. Do you smoke weed or before
Yes.
you do? And
Yeah, I
tell me
don't.
about that.
Yeah, I don't. So I have very few vices in life, pretty much smoking weed's the only one. I don't drink, and my body never like got along well with alcohol. But when I started smoking weed, I think that that in addition to kind of like meditating and really kind of actively trying to like, just for lack of a better word, like free myself, just like kind of like remove any like walls and barriers in my life. Weed definitely helped take me out of my normally very analytical and 1,000 thoughts a second mind, and I was able to get to a place where I was like, oh
Oh,
wow,
cool.
like I feel like I have some breathing room in my mind. And so that really, yeah, so it does help facilitate a kind of like ease.
Like even on stage.
Yeah, even on stage,
Wow.
I
That's
will.
amazing.
There's few instances where I've not smoked before going on stage, but I've also learned a balance. There's been shows where I smoked a little too much, and I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, what am I doing?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I definitely and also like a lot of my friends smoke as well. So for us, it's kind of like a little social thing before the
Yeah.
show, and we kind of like everyone gets in that very kind of like relaxed, like fun.
Yeah,
Because
like
for me,
a
like
ritual.
yeah, exactly. It goes all back to like witches, like communal, like ritual and
Yeah.
togetherness. Because I'm very close with my like local drag community, even though I
Yeah.
travel a lot, but um I still do a lot of shows with my friends here. And for me, like the creative arts, yeah, like to some extent, it's our job and it's like it sustains us, but also it's like it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I think that that's hard though to remember, particularly if you're like on the road all the time. It's just like it's
It
hard
can feel
to
not fun.
yeah, yeah, totally. Or it's just it's you're I feel like for me on tour, like I'm so focused on maintaining health. Like
Yeah.
it's just like I don't allow myself even like an inch extra of fun because I'm like, you're gonna get sick, like, and it's like,
It's so hard to get sick on the road too. It's
yeah.
like, oh, I remember my first time in January of 2020, I was able to do my first like real like rock vein like bus. Like I had my own little cot, and it was a few of the performers from different seasons of Dragula,
Oh,
and we,
cool.
we did an entire UK and European tour.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
so fun.
on tour bus, and it felt like, oh wow, this is must be what it's like to be like in a rock band or a band, because we all have like our little cots. But for me it was so hard because that the first night the bus moved and we like drove overnight, and I'm laying like in my little coffin, and like
Yeah.
we hit like a bump, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, totally. That's so funny. That's something people don't realize is like, I mean, everyone drives in cars or is in cars, but I don't think people understand like being on the highway for 8 hours a day, like it rattles you like a lot and it's loud. It's never quiet. It's
No,
always loud. And like, yeah, it is just like your entire life is in the driver's hands and you're just always driving and moving. And it's like, it has to do something, we're made up of water. Like it has to do something to your body to be moving for like 60 miles an hour, 8 hours a day, and then like all of a sudden just get dropped off at home. And you're just like, I feel
right.
like it's so hard to adjust.
It took me forever to get like when I got back like used to like not being on the bus, because it's very true. It's like you constantly have this movement and vibration as well as constant noise. So
Yeah.
there's no like real stillness on the bus. And after a while, you wonder, you're like, why do I feel so just like cranky? Like, why do I feel so grumpy? And then I'm like, okay, because we've been driving for 13 hours from like Amsterdam to Paris. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And it's your sleep isn't real. Like nothing is the same as it is at home. Um Obviously, but it's so much fun. But it's so hard on your body, like everything, and performing every night and eating different food. And I mean, it's wonderful, obviously, the dream.
Yeah.
Like it is really, I think just people don't understand how, because they're like, well, you just play like a show. You're only working like a couple hours a night. And it's like, yeah, kinda, but
I know.
yeah, it's like it's work. I'm around these people 24 hours a day. I have no time alone except in the shower. Like
Right.
everyone else is cranky at times. Everyone's hungry at different times. Everybody like misses their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is. It's like it's not just you. Like,
Right.
but
It definitely is, like you said, it's the dream, and it's like I'm living the dream. But I also like to import people, because as much as I tell people, like, you never give up on your dreams, no matter where you are in life or how old you are or anything, never. Because to me, that's what keeps you alive. It keeps your heart beating by
yeah,
holding dreams. And uh but I also like to impart, I guess because I'm a Capricorn, that, it does take work. You have to work hard at keeping those dreams going. But if you're working hard for your dreams, a lot of times it doesn't feel like work because you're doing
Yeah.
what you love. But there is work to it for
Yeah,
sure.
totally. That's such a good point because I think it is a lot about like how you perceive what work is. Because when you're having fun, you're just like it's not work. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, when you're playing or when you're on tour, and it's funny, you get paid for like the fun part and not for like all of the other work, which I think is pretty annoying,
I know,
honestly.
I know. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
it's like I'm like I work. This band is kind of a full-time job every day, all day, and like, but you just want to pay me for shows. It's like, how about I'll pay you to let me play, and then you just pay me for every other day.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all the stuff surrounding the like hour show or what have you that is
Yeah,
like that feels like work. It's
it is work. It
yeah, it because I know like for us it would be we would arrive in a new city at like 2 p.m. and then we would have 1 hour from 2 to 3 p.m., unload the bus, get into the venue. For example, when we were in Ireland.
Oh my God, you got to go to Ireland?
Yeah, I performed in Dublin.
That's so cool.
And
I've never been there because what's funny, I didn't even realize that it's like, and this is so embarrassing. I didn't realize it was its own island. And I was like, every time we went to Europe, I'm like, why aren't we going to Ireland? And they're like, it's not attached to the rest of the UK. And I was like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, we had to take a ferry.
that's so cool. Yeah,
Into,
tell me everything.
yeah, so we get to Dublin, and it's like arrive at 2, you have an hour break, and then you start loading in at 3, and then that's when like the adventure really begins. Like when we got to Ireland, they showed us the dressing facility, and it is freezing. We are in the
Oh,
UK and
yeah.
Europe in January.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
like I am cold. We go into the dressing room, and they had one like space heater for like 8 drag queens,
Oh my God.
and it was like a brick like room that had like bleachers all along the side, but the roof was actually raised, so this much space was like exposed to outside, so pigeons were flying
Oh
in
my
and shitting on all of our stuff as we're trying to like put on makeup and get into drag. And I was like, that's the work part. That's the
Yeah,
work.
totally. That's so funny. Yeah, we were in Europe in February, like our first tour in Europe, and I guess like because of all the wars, a lot of the places we played were like underground, like caves, kind of,
Uh-huh.
and it would just be freezing, and we'd be like getting like naked, like just like shaking in like a place that had rock and roll shows in this whatever their wartime was, and just being like down there like freezing cold, and like yeah, there's no mirrors, there's no anything, you're just
No.
like do I look okay? Like
Well, I remember we would do like meet and greet first for like an
oh
hour.
cool.
Then we would change looks, and then we would perform the show. My meet and greet for the entire tour, because not thinking we would be in Europe in January and it's cold,
Oh
um,
no.
I had someone design an entire dress just made of clear plastic straps, and
Wow.
had little blood drops hanging from it made out of like 3D material, and
That
just
sounds so
a
cool.
G-string in a corset. And I was going to these meet and greets in high heels, a corset, and a G-string, like practically nude, and just shaking. And all the rest of my drag family was like, "Girl, are you cold? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "It's a little cold."
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so cool though that you got to go to Ireland. That's really special. Like usually you don't get to go there on tour.
Yeah,
Um, are
I
you
felt really
gonna
fortunate.
what's that?
I said I felt really fortunate we got to go. We got to hit it was like 7 places in a week and a half. So we did Amsterdam,
Yeah.
Berlin, uh, Dublin, London, Manchester, Paris, uh, and I am forgetting one. But yeah, we got to some really cool places.
That's so cool. Um, was that your first time in Europe?
That was my first time in Europe. I had been I did a burlesque performance in the UK the August prior.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
but it was my first time like doing like a tour
Yeah.
situation overseas.
That's so cool. Do you like it there? Or I know it's different everywhere, but did you like it a lot?
I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it. It's funny, like before I left for tour, all of my friends were like, you're gonna love that was the other place, Berlin. They're like, you're
Yeah.
love Berlin, you're gonna love it, love it. And a lot of the places we only got to explore for like a couple of hours.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's the other thing. Is like, oh yeah, we get to go to Europe, and it's like, yeah, the dressing room and like the concert hall.
You get to see it
But
through the window and
yeah,
maybe have a bite to eat at a cafe, and that's it. Uh,
yeah.
we had days off in Glasgow,
Oh,
and
cool. I love that place.
I loved it
Did you
so much.
did you guys go to the what's it called? The necropolis?
Oh, one Landon Sider, who won my season of Dragula, actually went.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
the time frame was like we had to leave. If we wanted to go, we would have to leave at like 6 a.m. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna sleep.
Yeah, no, totally. We usually don't like go on adventures just because you're just so tired. But that was one place we went, and you got to go there when you go back. It's just
I
like
will.
it's. I mean, I get you're from Louisiana,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're used to cool graves.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I wasn't that used to it, so I was like, this is the coolest graveyard I've ever been to.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's like on top of the hill, like at the city, which is weird. So it's like the whole city looks up at it. Just like
Uh-huh.
I'm like, this is amazing.
Where would be your dream place to play?
Whoa, cool question. Whoa. I mean, I want to play in Japan really bad. Um, yeah, you too.
That's as you can. I love Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, I saw your video. That was so cool.
So
Um,
I want to perform in Japan so bad.
we should perform there together.
Oh, I would love that.
We should
Yay.
do a Japan tour.
I would
Um,
love that.
which is that's my biggest dream. I was like, yeah, that's like one thing I'm 100% gonna do. We should do it together
It's
because
gonna happen. It's gonna
yeah,
happen.
for sure. Yeah, I feel like once I do that, I can like I want to go to Australia because I want to hug the koala. You know,
Yeah,
like
I love
yeah, everyone has that picture, and I'm like, you haven't really made it as a band unless you have the like hugging koala photo.
the infamous hugging koala. Yeah, even with drag performers, like
Everybody has it.
some of my friends have been able to perform in Australia and they get the koala and I'm just like, I just want to hold it.
Yeah. So you have a record coming out. And I for some reason I can't remember the name of the single. Uh,
Yeah, the
please.
name of the single, it was released last October. It's called Whip Crack.
Okay, yeah. So I have to tell you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but so I have like a weird relationship with music where I just listen to one song for like a month until like I need it so bad that that's all I listen to. And that song was like last month, like or I can't tell time anymore, but it was like
Yeah.
I walk the dog every morning for like an hour and like and that was like my song. It was just like 100%. I listened to it like over and over again on the walk, and it made my life so much more fun. And like actually it was like 3 months ago because it introduced me to a whole new part of my life that I really like, which is like I could never exercise before really, like like jog or do things like that. I just didn't. I was like, why would you do this? It doesn't feel good. Because
Yeah.
I always tried to do it like later in the day, like around 4, and I was like, oh god, I hate this. And then all of a sudden, I like. It's weird that your song came out so long ago. I feel like it came out the same time as our record, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So like yeah, maybe it was like 3 months ago. I was just like, I'm gonna listen to that song and try and jog. And I did that, and it made it like so much fun actually to like
Okay.
it just like because it was like what's around the corner, what's around the corner. And then that led me like it was like your song for a month, which like I just love it so much. And then it would be like
Thank you.
thank you. And then I'd be like Danny Elfman or like John Carpenter. So now my new thing I do is like run while listening to like kind of spooky soundtracks, and it's
Oh,
like,
I love that's so awesome.
yeah, and it's so fun because it's like, just like I couldn't do it listening to music with words, or like podcasts, or it just was too not fun. But I find like spooky music is the most fun to like jog around, and like you look at people, you could pretend they're like, zombies or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
so cool. So thank you for your cool song.
Oh, you're
um
so welcome. Yeah, first of all, I'm the exact same. When I
oh,
find a
really?
song I like, I will play it and play it and play it and play it, usually for weeks,
Yeah.
until I either do a performance to it or
Yeah.
something, and then I'm like, okay, now on to the next song. But I'm
Yeah.
very much like,
Oh,
I'll I'll
that's
play a song
cool.
to death.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, because I've definitely done it with Death Valley Girls song.
No.
And yeah, and
That's
uh
so cool.
but that's how I very much get like my current one. I guess my latest one was Bjork's Future Forever off of
Cool.
Utopia. And
Yeah.
so, like I made a video to it a couple of nights ago. And so I was like, I have to like it'll be the soundtrack to my life for weeks, and then I'll do something
Yeah.
with it. But I love soundtracks are great for exercising because again, it's almost kind of like that meditative. You don't have a vocal to kind of
Yeah.
listen
It's
to.
yeah, I just never thought about it before, and it was like, yeah, I just really thank you for like introducing me to that concept, because it takes away, yeah, it is like meditating. It takes away all the thoughts, and it's just like you're breathing and like your heart beating, and then like, yeah, it's magical. Like I can't believe I'm the kind of person that like likes to get my heart going in the morning. It's just like,
Right.
it's so like opposite of the way my whole life has been. But I wanted to ask you about, first of all, the theremin, coolest instrument. Like, how did you get into that? Tell me everything about that.
Yeah, well, I play a bunch of different instruments, kind of like to varying degrees of like success. But
Yeah.
one instrument that I played quite a bit, and I've done it live once, but I play musical saw.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it. And then the first time I heard theremin, which I want to say I'd probably heard it a bunch as a kid, but the first time I really like recognized like, oh, what's that sound?
Yeah.
Watching Ed Wood
Oh, yeah.
and the great
Cool.
soundtrack with all the theremin in it.
Yeah.
And so I discovered Clara Rockmore, who is an amazing thereminist. And then I eventually discovered who I consider the greatest like living thereminist right now, and that's Armon Ra.
Okay.
Lived in Los Angeles.
Cool.
Armin Ra was like an infamous, like famous New York City drag performer, club kid, and in an interview, was asked, "What are you going to do next?" And Armin said, "I'm going to master the theremin and travel the world." And Armin never even touched a theremin.
Yeah.
Armin just said it and
Yeah.
literally became like, there's a great documentary called When My Sorrow Died.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna write that down. I
Yeah,
need
it's a
I need
great
stuff for
documentary
my
about Armin Ra. But
cool.
but yeah, I loved the sound of the of musical saw, and someone was like, "Yeah, the musical saw is just like an acoustic theremin," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, let me give it a go." And so I bought one, and I remember like taking it like right out the box and like playing it because I understood the concept. The left hand is volume, the right hand is pitch. Your body is what connects the current, which I thought
So
was
cool.
also so awesome.
Yeah.
Wasn't until I bought pedals for the theremin that I was like, oh, now this is just like an amazing like noise machine. Like
Yeah.
I when I play it, I kind of treat it as like the voice.
Yeah.
That's why on the EP, which will come out later in the year,
Oh,
uh
cool. Can't
there will
wait.
be vocals on like a couple of songs, but I mostly use the theremin as my
That's
voice.
so cool. Are you singing on it?
There'll be a couple of songs with my
Okay,
vocals on it as
cool.
well. But what the plan is currently is to continuously releasing singles
Yeah,
and
that's the way to do it.
yeah, we're gonna release 4 to 5 singles with
Cool.
accompanying music videos, and then at the end it'll be released as an EP, and it'll be called Rituals. The EP is called.
Wow, congratulations. That's a great name.
Thank you, thank you.
That's so cool. So did it take a while to like master it or as much as one can
Yeah,
master anything?
it basically like I feel I'm gonna have like a long journey with a theremin because I don't. It's kind of like playing a wild horse. It's
Yeah.
like you really, they're very temperamental. Every time you move it or cut it or like turn it off and turn it back on, you have to recalibrate it.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, because you have to calibrate it to where when your hands are off of it, it doesn't make a continuous noise. Like you should be able
Okay.
to drop your hands and it's silent. So you have to like calibrate it. And sometimes like some pedals will work with it, some pedals won't, some amps work with it, some amps don't.
Yeah, what pedals do you like to use with it?
Oh my God. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab it real quick.
Please, I can't wait.
So I have this really great pedal. It is by Donner Mini Effect Chain. And I had never heard of this line before, but it's Alpha FX and it's just reverb, delay, and a modulator. But it's
Ooh,
super tiny.
it's cute too,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, it's super, super cute. Very, very easy to use, but I can make the theremin sound like a whale with this. And
Wow.
yeah, and it's my one pedal I use. I originally wanted to add distortion because I wanted like huge walls of sound from the theremin, but sometimes the theremin does not like distortion and it does
Okay.
sound really good.
Yeah.
Um, but I like to use lots of delays and reverbs on it.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But
I've never even seen a theremin honestly in real life. Like I don't think. So that's when I saw when you first posted about that, I was like, oh my god, that's the
yeah,
coolest thing ever. And
uh,
you know, like is the sorry, like how you play a saw, is it kind of a similar like
it's the
feeling?
way I kind of like, I guess for me, theremin was a little bit easy because like with the musical saw, like you have the end of it here and you're having to rise it, you
Yeah.
control the pitch. Like it's a two-handed thing. So to me, going from
Right.
like this wasn't that
Yeah.
difficult. And it helps if you have like a decent pitch, like natural, because
Yeah.
I can't read music or anything like that. I just play by ear.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, okay, yeah, just like, okay, that sounds right. And
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool.
thank
That's
you.
such a good match. Also, it's like I mean, it's such a good match for you know, like the sound like I feel like my guitar isn't exact like when it's not perfectly the perfect tone, I'm like, this isn't me. I don't,
Yeah,
but like, yeah, the theremin, it seems like you. Although I don't know you, but
I
it
I
really
love
seems like you.
it. I think it's elegant and
Yeah,
it's spooky. It's a little bit kitschy, which I enjoy.
yeah,
But it also can be very moving as well
yeah,
because when it's played by itself with no accompaniment, to me it sounds very much like it's very an operatic voice, and,
yeah,
and I feel like it has the capacity to really move. Uh,
yeah.
so I love like all these kind of like different natures of the instrument, and I forgot one part of the story.
Oh, tell
Uh,
me.
I actually I played theremin live about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago was my first introduction to the instrument. Knew I had wanted to play it. I knew I wanted one. So there's a great venue here in Austin called the Mohawk.
Yeah, I love the mohawk.
I love the Mohawk. So I do an annual show called Butch Queen. Well,
Yeah,
one year it was sponsored by Sound on Sound and Margin Walker and the Mohawk. I did it at the Mohawk, and I was the first drag queen to ever step foot and play
Oh,
on,
wow.
on the Mohawk stage. And
That's
I
so cool. And
thank
so
you.
strange that it was so
Yeah,
recent.
I
Why?
was the first one, and I played theremin to Black Sabbath's War Pigs.
Oh my God. That is
Like
so cool.
in front of 700 people at
Wow.
Mohawk. And that was my first introduction to the theremin. One practice and then performing it live in front of 700 people.
That's amazing. Were you like the
Very
same?
nervous.
Yeah, okay. Is it a different feeling of nervous than before? Like, do you get nervous before you perform?
I don't get nervous. I get what I call like the performance butterflies. Like I'm just ready to get on stage and like do it. Um
Yeah.
uh the only time I would ever get maybe like a little anxious or nervous is if there are like props or things involved in a number.
Yeah, totally. Oh my
And,
God.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I have to hit timing or something like that. But just performing, I get more like excited to go out.
that's so cool. I feel like that's me too. Is I don't really it's I don't get nervous, but I get excited. I'm like, let's do this. But oh yeah, so I don't know too much about like TV or competition shows, but was like it was that different perform like that seems like that would be very nerve-wracking being on
That
a
Well, I'll put it this way, and it's like Dragula for me was like it taught me a lot about myself and a lot about how far I can push myself mentally and physically. Because for those who don't like know a lot about these drag competition shows, I can only speak for myself, but what it entails is basically you film for 6 weeks out in California. Uh, on very little to no sleep. You're shooting 12 to 16-hour days. The
wow.
days that you are in drag, you are consistently in drag. You're not allowed to get out. So days where I would be corseted to like a 24-inch
Oh my
waist or
God.
something, we would be in them all day. So it's physically rough. It's mentally rough because, you know, your drag is so personal to you, and you're competing with other artists who become friends and family,
Yeah.
and they feel very personal about their art. And so it's like, for me, it really made me question like what I feel, my feelings about competition,
Yeah.
feelings about art and competition. And like I said, it was something I'm glad I did, because it definitely, I feel it made me, it gave me strength in a lot of ways. And,
Yeah.
and it also like made me realize, oh, wow, because, during the duration of the show, I had to staple gun my leg. I had a 16 gauge needle pierced through my thumb,
Yeah.
um, up all hours of the night, sleeping
Yeah.
like an hour and 45 minutes a night between like shoots.
Yeah.
It was really tough, but like I feel like I got to show that you can like really be yourself
Yeah.
and also be kind and a caring person. And like still do great. I made like top 4
Yeah,
of.
it must feel pretty good to be like fan favorite. Or that's what I mean, that's how I feel about you. Like,
Yeah, well, thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I feel I got to show another side of drag, as someone who entered drag very late. I didn't start drag until I was 36.
that's so
And
cool.
yeah, and I'm just a big believer in like, what is time? What
Yeah.
is age? Like, as far as dreams go,
Yeah.
there's no age limit on a dream. There's no time limit on a dream. And it's like some people blossom later than others. And I feel that when things come up in your life at certain times, it's like it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, how old was I when I did Dragula? Oh, I think I was like 42, 43. And everyone else was like they're all, most of the contestants were in their very young 20s, but they said, they're like, oh my God, they're like, girl, you're the oldest one here, and you're the one who can do all of the splits and like all these, like, you know, there's one episode, it was called Vampire Queen, and we all had to do burlesque numbers, and they show one shot of me with my shoulders on the floor, and my entire body is raised up and my legs are in a V.
Yeah.
They were like, we cannot believe it. But yeah, it was fun. Like, I got to show my drag. I remained very authentic to myself as a person. I felt
Yeah.
I didn't have to play a role. I went to like have fun and challenge myself, and I did. But
That's so cool. I mean, there must be no feeling greater than like getting to do, like the beginning of it, and like when you, what's it called, made the cut, or what is it?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what was that like? Or like, did you audition, or what happened?
I was shocked when I got the phone call and they were like, we would love to have you on the show. And like, I cried.
Oh.
And because it was one of those things where, you know, especially, I look a little bit younger than my age, so that works in my favor. But
Yeah.
there's not, especially, with drag, it's something that's very, we're talking a lot of times about like physical beauty, and it's a lot of times it can be very surface, and that's something that you just have to kind of understand going into the art
Yeah.
form.
Well, it's also
And
super competitive, I think.
yeah, it's super competitive. There's like thousands of drag performers per like slot, per experience, and everyone wants their break. And I kind of went into drag very kind of blindly, and just like when opportunities came up, I learned to say yes. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like say yes to everything and
Yeah.
keep yourself open. And if things don't feel right with you throughout, remember, you can say no. You can always pump the brakes on things. And I just decided to say yes and go for it.
That's awesome. Do you like a little bit competitive with your husband, or is it?
I actually, so my husband is like one of my favorite drag
Oh,
performers ever. So it's like, I don't know. I feel we have a very healthy sense of ego. We both know that we love the different types of drag that we do, and we know that we're good at it.
yeah.
So for me, I'm kind of like, I like to applaud his successes,
Yeah.
and he definitely supports me. He was there in drag with me at the premiere in Los Angeles, and
Oh.
rooting for me, and like
Yeah.
sat by me when we watched the premiere together at the Globe Theater.
Oh,
Like,
that's so cool.
yeah, he has been there with me the entire step of the way, and we're both just supportive. We do tease each other here and there to make each
Good.
other laugh, and
Yeah.
there is some definite like playful poking at each other.
I
So
think that's good.
yeah,
That's super cool. And just one question that doesn't matter at all, but I'm
yeah.
curious, is like, for reality or competition TV, is there like always cameras on you?
So basically, it's like it's very similar for like every drag competition show. Is that like the budget, I think, to have like a camera crew like operational for 24 hours a day is so astronomical. So,
Okay.
so basically what it would be is we would have like these are your film days. This is what we expect. This is what you can be prepared for, in a very vague way, because you
Okay.
never knew what would happen.
Yeah.
Uh, and also we were like, we will film you in, like in this area in this day at this time. So we were all prepared like very vaguely where we
Yeah.
were going to be filmed and what was, and like our shoot days. But as far as like, this is what's going to happen, it was always a wild surprise. So
Oh my
and
God, I
then
can't.
that's how I feel like that, you get genuine reality is, we're there and we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that's so cool. You must like the relationships you made in that situation. That's so special. Like you
Yeah.
guys will be friends forever, or
Yeah,
enemies, I guess.
right. Well, we joke. I can happily say that like I get along very well with everyone on cast, but
I believe that.
we did say that it's kind of funny that uh it's a little bit like PTSD. Uh
Oh no.
and like that's how we like, it's like 13 people thrown into a situation that's like super intense. None of us like is our first experience with it. So what either happens is you drop the bomb and everyone like explodes, or everyone huddles together like a cluster of
Right.
kids. And that's
Yeah.
what we did. We
That's
really just
cool.
kind of like huddled in together. And you know, if they did want us to explode, I'm sorry, they cast the wrong person because I'm just a big mom. So
Oh, that's no, that's so cool. And I think that's that's so cool to be able to do that even in such a high stress, like bizarre, competitive world of just like I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like, but that's it's so
yeah,
cool.
it,
What a great
it
opportunity.
it's
And
like the way I look at with drag is like, and I guess the way why I approach it with like kindness is that at the end of the day, these are all just people who are being very vulnerable and showcasing their art in an art form that can be very, very highly judgmental. And at times, as you know, like any industry can be not very kind.
yeah.
Uh, and so my thing is like, I try to remember that there is a person underneath the wig and all the makeup that really just wants to express themselves on stage.
That's cool.
And so for me, it's like, I don't know. I want to approach everyone and kind of like everything with like a sense of love and joy, because I could be doing something like else in life that I don't love. I could
Yeah.
be stuck like in a job because I have to be. I'm really privileged and fortunate to get to do this as like my living. And so like I also just don't want like any like negative like vibes. Like obviously, life is tough and we all deal with hard things and things aren't like great all the time.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to my art, like I always want to approach it with like positivity and love and enjoyment.
That's so cool. I have to say that I moved to New York when I was like I 17 or whatever, and so many scary things happened, and so I started hanging out with drag queens and like at gay bars and stuff because it was like the only place that was safe seeming, and like
Yeah,
everyone was
yeah,
having fun and they were such like they knew everything in the world and like were so smart and advanced and cool and like just cared about fun and enjoying
yeah,
life. And I just really I thought that that was so cool and so safe and like just such a cool world that I really don't know much about. But I think it's probably funny. Like they're probably like, who's this like little squirt just hanging out with us, like using a fake ID to come into our show? But
but
yeah,
no, like that's not an uncommon thing,
yeah,
and it's like it makes me feel great, and that's what like drag spaces like LGBTQIA spaces should be. They should be a safe space for everyone. And that's the other thing is like the outside world can be like so cold. It's like
yeah.
I feel like our spaces where we gather, it's like they should be like warm and fun and like everyone invited.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It felt, I mean, it, for my experience, it was that too. And it was cool to like look up to these like glamorous people and just feel like a pipsqueak. And, but it
Right.
felt safe and just like, and it kind of, I don't know, it's just super cool. And it is important to have that place to go be yourself. And it's great how much everything's changing. But I feel like back then, uh, it did seem like it was still it's evolving, I guess is the point.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely getting so much more in the mainstream now, and drag is like a lot more people just in your day in the day-to-day world know what drag is now.
Totally.
And which is exciting. And and also, like for me as a drag performer and a drag persona, I definitely get those comments, like girls are like, I'm gonna be you when I grow up, or
Yes,
or like you're like everything that I want to be. And
that's
so
so
like
cool.
while I don't feel that like I have to be a certain way for like my fan base, I do feel that like, it's important that I showcase that, yeah, I'm an independent, creative, strong person who still like chooses to like live their life, with lots of love and being open and also being vulnerable, as well, and being like just I don't know, like I don't know, being like warm with people.
Yeah,
That
no,
term, warm.
totally. Yeah, and conscientious and like just aware of the fact that everyone has a different is coming from a different place, and just everyone needs love, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that you give it to them, because that's my favorite kind of person. I just appreciate someone that knows people need love and would rather give that um, than like coldness or be dismissive. It's like
Yeah.
there needs to be more people like you.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I just feel it's like I know I've gone through hard things in life, and we all do. And it's like you never know what a person goes through in life. You never know unless you're that person. I'm
Yeah,
sure I've experienced things that people would be like, "Oh, wow, I never knew." I would have never guessed that, you went through that too. And so I always have that in the back of my mind that like, someone might have had, a hurt that I don't know. And so,
yeah,
and then also it's like, I don't know. It's fun like on stage to be like very vampy and kind of like a little cold, or like, it's
yeah,
one thing, like in your act to be
yeah,
that way and to kind of like be fierce and all that. But I feel that people walk away with a stronger connection with me uh, because of the warmth,
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. All of my friends love you. Everybody loves you, and that really like is, aside from you being the best dancer and the coolest looking person, is that like just kindness and I hate when people say realness, but or authentic. It's like we're all real humans, but you know what
Yeah,
I mean. Like you're just authentic. Nature is just, it's so cool, and I feel like it is sort of unexpected. I don't know why, but it's like it's just so cool, and I commend you, and I thank you so much for you.
oh, thank you so much. That's my favorite compliment that people give me is they're like, "Oh, before I met you, you looked like a real bitch." And then you opened your mouth, and I was like, "Oh, you're so nice." And
That's
yeah,
so
I
funny.
I enjoy that. I like giving people a surprise of niceness that they may not
Yeah, exactly.
expect.
That's my that I also found, like when I lived in New York, the scariest thing you could do is smile. Like nothing freaks people out more than like just being happy and kind. So
Yeah, exactly.
even if just for the spooky effect, like it's good to be
Exactly.
nice.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say thank you so much. It was so fun to finally get to talk to you. And is there anything else you wanted to say, or anything you want to tell everybody about?
Just keep an eye out for more new music. I will be we're kind of recording as we get inspired.
Good.
So we have stuff already recorded, but we're kind of just going in when it like feels fun.
Cool.
So look out for more music. I'll constantly be posting on my Instagram about shows and stuff. But yeah, and hopefully whenever the world allows us to go out and venture once more, I can perform in a city near you.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Um,
Bonnie.
Thank you. I will keep in touch with you about everything.
Absolutely. I just want to say that it was like such a joy for me to be to do the Death Valley Girls video.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
y'all's music so much. I was very much aware of y'all. Like,
I
don't
can't believe that. That is so crazy to me.
like. Hold on.
Okay. I
I'll
can't
do it
believe.
up. So I do own Glow in the Dark on
What?
cassette.
Oh my
I
gosh.
bought it at End of an Ear, my favorite record store here in
Oh wow.
Austin. And yes, I've been a fan. So whenever
I can't
y'all
believe that.
asked me, I was very excited.
That is so funny. I can't believe that. That makes me feel I'm gonna like ride this feeling for like a week. That's just
I,
so cool.
I'm gonna do a cheerleader performance to "I'm a Man Too." So,
Oh, please.
so
Yeah.
I'll let you know when that's gonna happen.
Yeah, you gotta let me know. That is so cool. Yeah, that's so funny. Well, I'm so happy to get to know you. Thank you
Oh, me.
so much for this.
I'm happy to know you too, Bonnie,
And
and
stay super safe, okay?
you too. Stay safe, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And send my hellos and love to everyone. I actually messaged Larry because I was a huge fan of Midnight Movies too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Larry's sister. I was a
Oh,
whole
cool.
like I saw like whole 3 times. I saw them for a Pretty on the Inside
Oh,
tour,
cool.
Live Through This. Like I know like all the offshoots. I'm a huge like indie music nerd. And
That's so cool. I think Patty's a fan of yours. You guys.
oh my god.
Yeah, I think actually she might be doing a podcast. I should ask her or
Oh,
connect.
Patty, she has a drag queen who loves her.
Okay,
Like,
I'll text her after this and just see. I don't know what her podcast is about, but I'm sure she would love to have you. That's so cool.
Yeah, like I'm such a huge fan. It's like it literally I geeked out like all day after whenever y'all asked, and I was like just so very excited.
Oh my god, that is so cool. I did not know that. I like
Yeah,
that.
my music taste is very, and I think that's one of the things that has given me a little bit of success with drag is that my music repertoire is a little different than most people, but like I grew up a huge 4AD nerd and like had all of that on vinyl, and I was a big like Kill Rock Stars and
Cool.
K Records.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Lots of fun indie music gets played in this house all the time. So
that's amazing. So cool.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you so much. Have a really good rest of the day, and I'll let you know when this comes out and such.
Absolutely.
Okay, I love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.